Ladies and gentlemen, in today's debate, from what the leader of the opposition has said, we could see that they are having a completely different picture of what is actually in our status quo. What is actually the admission officer system? What it is, they do not understand. No. They do not understand what the real admission officer system is actually that we have given to them as a definition in today's debate. They seem to have this false picture about how if they do not have this officer admission system, the only way that we could actually grade these students when they apply for a certain university, the only way is with the GPA or with the academic essay writing exam. But what they do not understand is that the interviews and all the other processes themselves are actually included outside of the scope of the the system that we are trying to ban in today's debate, that as our Prime Minister has defined for you in her speech. So with that done, I would first like to rebut to some of the points that the leader of the opposition has given to us, and then go further on into elaborating our third and final point, which is how inaccurate this system has in portraying a picture of these students. Yes.
Your Prime Minister told us that the thing that you want to ban is a system that includes these extracurricular activities and also these self-introductory essays, and also which prioritizes these interviews. So your stance is different from your Prime Minister.
No, she has not actually included the part of interviews, but rather she has She has explained the administration officer system as where they have self-introductory essays that are mainly based on extracurricular activities. We had not exactly included these interviews in our scope of debate.
I'll clarify.
No, sir. So with that done, the main point that the leader of the opposition has rebutted to our case was how we have to invest in everything we do. We cannot get rid of these private education systems, whether we ban the administration officer system or not. But the problem is, how much can we get rid of with the banning of this system, ladies and gentlemen? Is getting rid of most better than doing nothing? Of course, it's going to be impossible and impractical to say that we're going to ban all forms of private education. But with our stance that we and our case that we have given it to you in today's debate, we believe that we can actually get rid of some parts that is actually becoming a crucial impact or a negative problem in our current society today, which is how in tests and extracurricular activities that are based on test scores, such as the math competitions, things like the HSK, or where tests are evaluating the students' extracurricular activities and their abilities. But the problem is those kind of activities are not actually provided for them in our education system. So it is actually impossible for them to have a better grade that they want to present to an administration officer for them to apply to a school. So we are saying that it is easier for them, because they are people who can actually speak a language, to do an interview, to write an academic essay without the help of other people, than learn by themselves to speak Chinese or speak French, speak any other language that they are trying to get these certificates for. So we are saying, even if we cannot get completely rid of the private education, we can at least get rid of some, which is going to be beneficial for our society. And with that done, because we can't actually get rid of that private education, if we have this administration officer system, then it would actually make a bigger gap between the rich and poor. Because of that private education, the rich can more easily get these extracurricular scores and get into better colleges. Moving on, they had their first argument was the necessity. How without the administration officer system, it's not going to be enough, because we are only going to base their skills on the GPA itself, and how we cannot actually find their individual talents that are within them. But the problem is, as we have said, with other ways, for example, through the academic writing essays and the interviews itself, we can actually get what they are without having them writing their essays outside or getting test scores that might not even be true. I'll explain that part in our later third argument. On that same line of logic, we could say that their second argument about the social trend, how that people want to show their leadership and honesty through writing their self-introductory essays and such on, is the social trend, and how we need that administration officer system in order to evaluate those kind of characteristics. But already I will explain in our later argument how it's not exactly honest and accurate to evaluate these students on, and also how I've already explained how through the interviews it will be actually a more honest way and a more accurate way to evaluate these students. So with that done, I would like to go on into our final argument, which is the inaccuracy of the administration officer system. Because we have said that this system is based on extracurricular activities with the self-introductory essays or test scores, it's not going to be accurate to learn about the person themselves. Because these scores, these essays, are actually only the result of what they have done, we do not know whether or not it has been done through actually an honest method. We could even see people who could get 150 in their AMC scores, but still get less than 10 in the AIME. Then can we actually trust those kind of test scores if we can only see the result, not the person's actual abilities? And with that line, we could actually have people literally write our self-introductory essays for us. We could actually have somebody else's essay given to the university where we have not actually shown our potential to the school, but yet these administration officers can only get the result. They do not know how dishonest that process of getting those results are. And because these test scores are not exactly being able to show the person's actual potential, because if you feel good, you could literally do better in the test, and if you don't, then you could actually do worse than you have actually practiced for. So because these test scores are not exactly the most accurate way to evaluate these students, we believe that we have to ban it. Rather, if we have academic writing essays or interviews as we are trying to pursue, we could actually know and see and actually talk to the person for ourselves. With a few minutes of talking, we could actually get to know the person's characteristic and those other parts of their personality. For example, their leadership, their honesty, and such on. For another analysis is that with a simple debate like this, we could see how shallow the logic of the opposition side arguments are. So because even without these extracurricular activities, we could more accurately evaluate these students, and because we could have a better impact in our society by reducing private education and the help of others, we could evaluate these students better and give a free chance to all. Thank you.